Every year, around this time of the year, after all of the Christmas gifts have been given and all of the parties attended, after we have taken down our Christmas decorations and we start preparing for the new year, people have a tendency, and it's all over the news. The first thing that the mind starts to do is to go through this preparation for resetting. New Year's resolutions are a big thing in this country and probably across the world, wherein people make promises of changes that they're going to make, these large and grandiose achievements that they intend to make or achieve, and they really start to become laser focused on identifying all of the new ways that they're going to approach life and living. The problem is, however, that many of these New Year's resolutions are made in the heat of the moment. The logic behind them are, if there even exists logic behind the resolutions, they are not realistic. Let's just be honest. Sometimes it feels good to say that you're going to do something just because that makes you feel as if there is a possibility that things could be better for you. And while it is human nature to want to continue to progress in our lives, we need to be careful with the promises that we make, not only to others, but most importantly to ourselves. Because when we set goals that are so unrealistic, all that we're doing is setting ourselves up for a letdown. I talked in a prior episode about extending grace to yourself. And so this year, as we prepare to embark on a new year in a couple of weeks, I would like for you to really rethink what it is that you want to see for yourself as you enter the new year, not because we're moving into a new year, no, because there are goals that you really want to achieve that are realistic. The new year is going to bring about a new date, pretty much, right? Life goes on, it continues. It's not as if that when the clock strikes midnight on the 31st of December and the new year has arrived, that a reset button automatically sets and everything about our lives is erased and we start over as if we're being reborn somehow. But that is really, I think, what people kind of expect, not in a way that is verbalized, but I think it is a subliminal suggestion somewhere in our minds that causes us to feel that somehow this new year is going to recreate versions of ourselves that prior years have not. But it's not about the year. It's about the you. It's about you and your ability to be focused on yourself and the things that you want to achieve. How can you achieve things if you are not willing to allow yourself the opportunity to have the time, the focus, the energy to really work towards achieving what you've set out to achieve in your minds. Sometimes I think New Year's resolutions are like exercise routines that, we can watch by streaming them or downloading them. And, we're going to do this workout routine. But instead of actually working out, we just kind of sit back and watch it, kind of getting ourselves mentally prepared for the moment when we're actually going to do it. And sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. That is really what New Year's resolutions have become. It's like we're just having a conversation because it's the right thing to do or it's the trending thing to do. Yeah, it's not even about right and wrong. It's about what's trending. But here's a clue. Life isn't a trend. It's just life. And if we know that there are changes that we need to make about ourselves, about what motivates us, about the things that we want to accomplish or achieve, we just have to do it. What's the saying? Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But what we don't want is to set ourselves up for disappointment by identifying things that may not be realistic for us to achieve. So I'd like to suggest that we kind of just bring it back a bit, that we identify some things that are really important for us, to us, for our own benefit. It could be something really small, like I'm going to begin to start extending myself a little bit more grace, or I'm going to start taking time for myself every day and I am going to do absolutely nothing, or I want to accomplish the goal of purchasing a home, but I know I don't have any money in my bank account. So while that may be a long-term goal, a short-term goal is to start saving. And with that may come a need to make some adjustments. But when we take the time to take these large goals that we put into place every year around this time, and we start dissecting them, they become more realistic. So that goal that you have may not be achievable over the next 365 days, but it will be achievable in time. Another thing that we can do is to start thinking about things that are not only going to be beneficial to us and taking those things and kind of dissecting them into smaller doses, but we can also begin to identify the changes that we would like to see in ourselves and take those items and just one by one identify which ones are priority for you. Maybe it's a priority for you to be a little bit more patient. Maybe it's a priority for you to learn to set boundaries and stick to them. Maybe it's a goal to get a new job. That's something that's certainly achievable. But it's not just a goal that you're setting because we are embarking on or about to embark upon a new year. It's not about the new year. It's about you and the things that you want to achieve. It's about the changes, those small incremental changes that you want to make in your life. Not because you've seen someone else do it, not because you think it's an expectation that someone else has of you, but because it is something that you have identified as being critical, crucial, vital for your life. Something that is going to re-energize you, something that is going to help you get to the next level. And here's the thing. It's not about the newness of the year. It's about the recognition in the moment that you desire change. And so resolutions can happen at any point in time in the year. But we put this pressure on ourselves as we wind up the year and we start looking forward to the next year. We really start replaying all of the things that didn't happen, all of the things we didn't achieve. And it becomes this internal boxing match that we have with ourselves. And we are replaying things and we are being critical of ourselves because of something that we weren't able to do because it wasn't time for us to do it. Or we're critical of ourselves because we're comparing ourselves to other people and somehow we feel as though we're behind. We're not. You are exactly where you need to be in this moment, in every moment. Don't allow what you see in others, that snapshot that you see, that little bit that you hear that they share with you, to make you or to cause you to believe that somehow you're missing out. Because people show you what they want you to see. They never share the full story of how they got there, the obstacles, the struggles, the other things that they're dealing with in their lives. This one thing that they achieved, that may be great, but what about all the other things they didn't achieve? What about all of the drama and the other things in their lives that actually don't even allow them to be able to enjoy the things that they're portraying to you? I think sometimes people put on these public displays on social media, people at work with what they share about what's happening in their lives, because it is a way for them to forget about all the things that aren't going right. It's a way for them on social media, as an example, to create this collage of a life that they wish they had. They wish they had. But they're taking these little snapshots and they're putting together these little reels and frames of these minuscule moments in time that don't quite represent the full picture. But you, we know the real picture. We know the challenges that we face. We know the things that we need to change. We want to change. We know the desires of our own hearts. And that is what matters. It doesn't matter that you say to someone, this is my resolution for the new year, even if that someone is yourself. If you're just talking loud and saying nothing. So maybe what we need to do as we approach this new year is to do less talking and more doing. Maybe we need to think about actionable results that we'd like to achieve, knowing that we can achieve them because we're not putting undue pressure on ourselves to compete and to be compared to others. So as we are approaching the new year, and as you begin thinking about all of the ways that you would like to reshape your life, be realistic. Extend grace to yourself and acknowledge to yourself that what you're seeing, the things that other people are sharing with you, is not the full picture. So there's no need for you to feel any sort of way. There's no need for you to feel discouraged or despondent because somehow you feel like everyone else is doing better than you, because they're not. You know what everyone else is doing? Paying bills and working and paying bills and having a few moments where they can enjoy a few things in life that make them happy. But by and large, we're all grinding. We're all just trying to make it to the next day. But in between those moments, the things that count are the things that you do for yourself and the things that you tell yourself about yourself. If there is any resolution that anyone is planning on making for this year, I wish that it would be this: love yourself. Treat yourself better. Encourage yourself. Yeah, I'm going to be resolute in this thing. I am going to learn to accept myself for who I am. I am going to learn to love myself for who I have become and who I am becoming. And I am going to represent myself in the best way that I can. And how is that? By being my authentic self. For standing up for myself and setting boundaries. For practicing self-care. For giving myself a pat on the back when I know I have done a good job or I've achieved something. For allowing myself to fail sometimes, knowing that I'll get right back up and start again. Knowing that I will achieve the things that I desire in time. And knowing that I am enough. You're enough. That is a resolution worth having, worth acknowledging. It's not even about making it, it's about stating it. I am enough. And when you come to a true and sincere knowledge and belief that you are enough, you won't be bothered by what you see on social media in terms of how others present their lives. Because you'll know that what you're seeing is only a snapshot in time. That they have challenges too. That they have bad days as well. That they have drama in their life that they're trying to get away from and minimize or eliminate. So, it's about to be another year. And people want to make changes. But the best change that you can make is that change in how you think. And in particular, what you think about you. I'm Sage Hill, and you've been listening to The Social Sage. As always, it's a pleasure, my treasures. And I invite you to share this podcast with others and to subscribe to this channel if you have not already. I hope everyone has the best year ever because you have decided to make yourself a priority.